everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. Merry Christmas to you all. We are in the throes of Christmas. This is very exciting. We have one of our very rare four-timers interviews. Been on the show 4 times. We have Paul Campbell. You know, there's only 2 other people who have been guests who have been on our show 4 times. So you're in a rare club.
Well. You know, as they say in Vegas, 4th time's a charm.
Yeah. Who knew, right?
We've
Yes.
all seen the commercials. I'm honored. The 4-timer club. Now, do you know offhand who the other 4-timers are? Are there 5-timers? Should I be jealous, or do I feel like really special here? Walk me through it.
You and who, I'm not sure when we'll interview Nina before the holidays, but probably will. And then she will be our first 5-timer. So yeah.
You're in luck. Nina is one of my favorite people in the world. And if I had to be bested by anybody, I'm happy that it's Nina.
Yeah.
There you go. Anybody else, I would be furious, and I would probably hang up the phone right now.
Well, I mean, because Nina was our first interview we ever had, and then you were our second. So it's kind of perfect in a way.
It really is.
Yeah. And
Nina and I make a great team.
Yes. And we love Nina. We praise her all the time on the podcast. We really do. She's such a wonderful support to us and such a wonderful writer. We love her. And then the other person is Catherine Disher, has been on our podcast 4 times, and she is on The Good Witch, and was also I have a special place in my heart for her because I love the old X-Men the animated series. It was such a great show, and and I love animation is my first love, actually, and I got getting to interview her. She played Jean Grey on X-Men the animated series. So the first time that I interviewed her, I was so nervous and I was so excited. And the fact that I could interview her 4 times is really cool. And so people are probably like, why are they talking for 15, 20 minutes of her interviews about her voice work? Is because that's sort of self-indulgent on my part. Because it's like, love her.
It's your podcast. You can talk about whatever you want.
That's right.
Now, is it kind of a trip for you because you're such a fan of her voice work? Is it a trip for you to speak to her? Oh. And then, when she talks, does she alter her voice at all to do Jean Grey, or is it basically just her regular speaking voice?
She alters her voice, but you can still tell it's her. And it's very surreal for me to be talking to Jean Grey. And
you just laugh the whole time and sort of giggle all the time?
I really do. Yeah. It's I don't know, I love voice acting. I think it's an incredible art and incredible profession. And it's just really, I'm basically like Amber was when we first interviewed you. She was so excited, and I'm excited to talk to everybody, but somebody that I just loved as when I was growing up watching X-Men the animated series was really cool, and she's great. And so anyway, we've gotten to talk to her 4 times, and we do love Mayor Martha on The Good Witch. That's her role, and she's so funny and so great. And so that has been a real thrill to get to talk. But yeah, anytime I get to interview a voice actor, it's always very exciting for me. I feel like it kind of comes full circle. So, when I got to interview Andrew Francis, who does a lot of voice work, I got to interview Tara Strong which was a big thing to me because she's an incredible voice actor.
Have you spoken to Giles?
Yes. Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. He's got an incredible, just a natural speaking voice, but he's a really talented voice actor too.
He was great. He was really funny as well. So I love every interview I do. I feel very, very blessed that I get to talk to all these cool people. So yes, 4 times for you. And this time, are you proud of me that I was on top of things? And
Message received. Yes. Well, I was very adamant the last time that I not be left. I felt like I was sort of, left to the last minute, maybe of lesser priority, and hurt my pride a little bit.
Yeah.
I had to get on you. I'm glad that this time you were up front. It's not even Halloween yet, and you were right into it. So I appreciate that.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Yeah, we had been focused. We interviewed Nina before The Last Bridesmaid, and so that was her fourth interview, and so yeah. And then,
well, she's like I said, happy to be stepping aside for Nina, but anybody else, and there's going to be trouble.
Yeah. So are you so excited? Christmas is coming. It's already here in the world of Hallmark, but do you have any fun things planned for the holidays? Or
well, I mean, listen, when you have a little one in the house, I'm not sure if you do, but when you have a little one in the house, it's hard to jump to Christmas when Halloween is still the big thing that's coming up, right? It's a lot of talk about what costumes, what's he gonna wear, and he's 3.5 now, so he's like the perfect age for Halloween. He's so excited about trick-or-treating, and he's got really strong opinions about what he wants to dress up as. So our house right now is like consumed with Halloween. And I don't know if this is it early for Hallmark to be airing Christmas movies, or is this the time of year they always start? Is it always before Halloween, or is this the first year?
Well, last year they had one before Halloween, but this year they have like, what's it, 2 or 3 or and then Lifetime is also joining the bandwagon, having 3, and this is the first year they started airing the holiday films so early, like even
right.
They're already going, and we're recording this on the 25th. They've been going for practically a week, I think, and so it's just keeps. I mean, I guess it is the 10th anniversary of Countdown to Christmas. So, what are you gotta?
I think this is precedent setting. I think it's going to be sooner and sooner. Like this year, they're doing 40 original Christmas films. Next year, it's going to be 42 or 45. And I think it's going to be like January 25th. They'll be like, we're starting to air Christmas films for next year. But people love them, and people get excited about Christmas films. They start airing them in July, and people get it. People will watch them all year round because there's something so magical about these Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And people just get excited for them. I don't think anyone cares what the season really is. So I'm not surprised it's October and we're seeing Christmas films at all.
I mean,
I think it's great.
It's their bread and butter. There's no doubt about it. And I mean, I enjoy watching them year round. I've always been a year round dabbler in Christmas, whatever it might be, Christmas, because I'll make a cup of hot cocoa, put a little peppermint on year round. You're living the
Shoot me
wild
straight
life.
now. Is your tree up year round? Are you a tree up year rounder?
Not a tree up. I'm not that hardcore. Okay. I probably would if I didn't get social. If there wasn't social backlash, but
right.
But no, I'm not that brave. Like some of our listeners.
I think my wife would too.
Are.
I think she'd go year round tree up if I wasn't saying, hey, maybe we just stick to like the 6 weeks that we have it up anyway.
What I was saying is somebody needs to invent a decor, whether it's lighting and maybe other decor, that you can just click a button and it like swaps it out. You know what I'm saying? Like like a sign or something. Click and it rolls onto so that way, say because there's a Christmas movie on Halloween. And so if people come into the door, I could click Halloween, and then I'm watching the Christmas movie, click. that's
you can. Why don't you just hand out candy canes on Halloween?
Yeah. I've thought about
candy canes and hot cocoa. That'd be pretty funny. Like a little Christmas wrapped gift.
Yeah.
Just freak people out, really mess with them.
Well, one year we had to do that growing up because we ran out of candy because we were a big house. People came to, and so we had to go to CVS and they'd already started putting out the Christmas candy on Halloween night. And so we came back and we gave out all this Christmas candy. But yeah, I mean, it would really be kind of cute. You'd put like a little card, Hallmarkies podcast to Christmas,
Merry Christmas from Halloween. And now I had this discussion the other day with a group of people. We were talking about our least favorite Halloween candies from when we were a kid, and that we would get, like when you go to door to door, what were your least favorite candies people would hand out. And people were saying like, oh, those little wrapped toffees, and some people said the candy corns or whatever. And then someone was like, oh, I didn't like Coffee Crisp chocolate bars. I'm like, you people are nuts. First of all,
I was gonna say, I'm shocked. Toffee.
You don't like chocolate bars? Get out of here. And then I was like, what about the Ziploc bag full of homemade dry popcorn? Did you guys? We had someone that was like, that's murder candy. Just here's a bag of have you washed your hands? We just put a mitt full of popcorn in a bag and expect me to eat this? Like, that's the worst.
Or those people that are trying to be all like health conscious or whatever, and they give you like a bag of carrots. You're like, what is wrong with you?
Kiss my butt. Oh, the dentist giving out toothbrush. We get it. You know what? It's not like we do this every weekend. Here's a toothbrush. Like, way to ruin the party.
Yeah. I'm on team. Give them real candy. I
just wonder, like, do they never? At no point. How many kids' sour faces do they have to see? Is there any one kid over the course of the night that's like, oh wow, thank you? Every single kid goes, like year after year. Don't you get tired of these like dejected reactions at the crap that you're handing out?
Like if you're handing out raisins, like little boxes of raisins, I
agree. Your fingers get all sticky when you're eating those things.
I feel like
it's too much.
You need to get visited by 3 spirits of Halloween to tell you how to live your life. Because, come on, I mean, there's nothing like the joy of kids and candy and Halloween. Come on, let your kids be kids. This is my opinion. Maybe it'll be controversial. Put your comments in the comment section because it's just the happiest thing in the world. And I remember as a kid, we would get I had a pillowcase, and we would like fill it. Like we would spread the candy out on the floor and divide it up. Yeah, you absolutely had like the raisins and the stuff like that. We were like, Mom, do you want this? Like, what is going on?
Even Mom's like, no, what am I going to do with that?
That's right.
Raisins.
Yeah, I mean, we would get
free
so
toothbrush.
Much. It's like, have you ever heard the Jerry Seinfeld thing about Halloween? Like,
no.
He's like, it's really funny. He's like, do you remember when you first heard of the idea? Everyone that we know is giving out candy. I got to be a part of this.
That's exactly it. Now, I'll say this. It's for us, for me as a kid, it was like a one huge night. We ate so much candy.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of up to our parents in the days that followed how much of that they let us consume. Like, I'm sure some kids, my parents definitely did not let me eat an entire pillowcase full of candy over the next month. They said, okay, this is like your night to go crazy. Yeah. This is this crazy thing we do. You can eat as much as you want. You can feel sick. It's up to you. Be a kid. And then, the next couple days you can have a few pieces, but you're not eating 17 pounds of candy.
Yeah.
I think that's where maybe, we need to have a little bit of common sense. But for the people that try and take a dump on kids just having one night of crazy fun, like, isn't it, I'm probably going to get killed for this, but I believe in the Amish culture, there's a year, like when they're 18 or 19, where they get to go and have a year where they just like get everything out of their system. Yeah. They get a year. We're talking about one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. I guess there's a thing now that if you have allergy, that if you have allergy friendly treats, like without peanuts and stuff like that, then you put like a blue pumpkin, I guess is the thing, and stuff like that. That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. So it's not kids with allergies aren't excluded. I think that's fantastic.
But it's just, I love in the Seinfeld thing. He's like, I would fill a punch bowl to the top. The top would be curved. I'd eat that whole thing one night. Next day, feel fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yes. So yes, I agree with you on Halloween. We're on the same page with Halloween.
Yeah. 100%. We're on the same page about everything here. We always
this year.
That's why this works so well.
Yeah. I'm going as Where's Waldo, which I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Even got the glasses. So
you should go as Here's Waldo. Actually, it's funny you say that because I was thinking recently about a funny book to put out, and it would be called Here's Waldo, and it's just every page is just completely white except a tiny Waldo, like doing a different thing on the page.
Yeah,
it's just called Here's Waldo, and it's a quick read.
Yeah, it's a real page turner there.
Yeah, real page turner. Oh, there's Waldo, and there's Waldo, and there's Waldo, and there's Waldo. Yeah. Good book.
Yeah. So I'm curious.
That's a funny outfit.
As far as the holidays, in your fantasy, if you could do anything, would you rather? Are you a stay-at-home guy or are you a travel guy?
I like actually both for different reasons. I really enjoy the stay-at-home Christmas Day now, especially with my son, because it's just such a special time for him. It's so much fun. He's so into it. He gets so much joy out of it. So to feel like I'm doing Christmas Day as a dad, with my family in my home is a really nice new feeling that I'm still enjoying. But I also, we've traveled so many times on Christmas Day, even or Christmas Eve. My wife's family they're like an hour and a half flight away. So we end up bouncing around a lot at Christmas, and it is kind of fun getting around to see all the families and stuff like that. We've never done a tropical Christmas, which is something we talked about doing, like maybe going to Hawaii or something and doing that, which, I would really like to do that. But the idea of maybe spending Christmas Day, especially while my son is still young enough to really, really get excited about it.
Yeah.
I would say for the next 5 or 6, 7 years, at least, I would love to just do Christmases at home, and then 1 year we'll go and just get nice tans somewhere. He'll just want like an iTunes gift card or whatever. He won't even care about stuff at some point. We won't be able to buy him anything he likes. He'll be like, oh, this sucks. And here's money. We're like, just give me money, Dad. You're out of touch.
It sounds like you're.
I'm already anticipating that day.
You're preparing for the teenage years. You got it. You're ready to go.
Dad, you don't know me at all.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the worst gift.
You're such
come on, son. I had one when I was your age.
Yeah.
The worst.
I think, have you ever seen The Burbs, Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Sure.
I think Tom Hanks in that movie is like my spirit animal, because I just want to have a staycation. I just want to relax. I mean, I think, and it's very first world problems, like, wow, I have, travel problems. But like, I don't know, unless I can go to the beach or to Disneyland. Those are the only two places that like I sort of fantasize that I like travel that I really want to do. And everything else, I'm like, that's a lot of work. That sounds tiring.
I don't picture home. Like Christmas in Bangkok, where I'm like, it would be fun. Christmas in Christmas in Dubai. I'm like, I don't want to go. Christmas in Belfast. Actually, that might actually be pretty fun. But I agree. Like a beachy thing, or Disneyland is actually a really interesting idea. I'm sure they do an incredible job decorating the park and making it Christmassy.
I mean, of course, Disneyland is a whole nother thing when you're going with a small child. It's like, wow, that sounds so exhausting. But I love going to Disneyland at Christmas, and I mean, any time of the year. I love Disneyland, And I also love New York at Christmas. It's so fun. But
I've never been.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. But even New York, I don't know. I'm just like an old lady at this point in my life. I'm just like, I just want to stay home. I don't really.
Yeah, New York's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
New York is work.
It's tiring.
I have to get dressed.
Yeah, but
I have to lift my arm up to hail a cab. Oh,
yeah.
Nightmare.
It's hard to hail a cab, actually, but now nobody has to because of Uber and stuff. But
true.
But anyway, yeah, I was gonna say, if you had to plan a perfect day, like in your mind would be just a perfect day, what would you do for Christmas?
Perfect Christmas day?
Yeah.
Well, perfect day would be my son dictates the time we wake up, and he's anywhere from like 6 o'clock in the morning to 6:04 in the morning. He's got a pretty big window of times that he wakes up. Yeah. I would love to maybe have a sleep in until about 7 in the morning, and then sort of get up. He'll be super excited, get up, put on a big pot of coffee, and let him do all the lights put on all the lights. He loves to turn on all the lights in the house. So put on the tree. Oh, and then he'll just want to like rip into some presents. And we never really go crazy. Our families give him so much anyway, but we always get like a handful of things that he's got on his list. So maybe, have coffee, let him rip through all of his gifts and play. He'll want to play some sort of like role playing game. He always wants me to be people. I'm just people, like bystanders, just be you be people, and I'll be Ninja Turtle. And then I have to be people, and he has to like interact with me. It's just nonstop. So I'll be people. My wife and I will be people, and he'll play with his new toys for a while. And then I would love to make a big breakfast, like bacon and eggs, and the kiddo can do whatever. He'll probably he'll be eating pumpkin pie or something like that. He'll be high on sugar, so he'll be running around the house. And then I'll just kind of chill. I feel like a perfect evening would be having a big turkey dinner, like with all of our friends, or going over to some friends' place. We usually don't do a Christmas dinner with the families on Christmas Day, but I would love to do a big like friend family dinner and have all the kiddos running around and eat too much turkey and drink lots of wine and have some laughs and maybe play some board games or something like that. That sounds pretty ideal to me.
Yeah, well, kids are just the cutest when it comes to Christmas. My little brother, when he was little, now he's 22 or some crazy age, but when he was little, he of course would be really, really excited for Christmas, but he really only wanted to open one present. We should have only gotten him one present because he would open one present and then he would just want to play with that. He would just want to, and one time my mom he kept wanting to play with my sister, who's like 4 years older than her or something like that. Anyway, he kept wanting to play with her dolls, and she would get kind of annoyed, like, stay away from my stuff, how kids are. And
sure.
And so my mom thought it would be a good idea to make him a doll, and because my mom makes these adorable dolls, they're so cute.
Okay.
And anyway, so my mom worked on it, made this doll for him, and he had already opened his first present and was just like playing with that. And we're like, Sam, open this present. And he was like, ugh, okay, fine. And so,
wow.
Yeah, so he opens the present, and he was about, I think, your son's age or so. He opens it, he sees the doll, and he literally like threw it across the room. It was so funny. We were like, Sam.
Oh.
He ended up loving it, but he was very
furious.
He's like, leave me alone. It was so funny.
Oh, how many gifts do I have to open?
Yeah.
You people, you're suffocating me with your kindness and your love.
Yeah. It was really funny.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, kids are hilarious like that. Like, what a unique thing that he's like, I've got my gifts. Don't waste my time with these don't lavish me. Just get me the one thing and I'll play with it. I mean, talk about a dream kid for a parent.
Yeah.
Easy to
And
please.
you're absolutely right about playing with kids. Because I would drive my siblings crazy sometimes, because I have obviously much younger siblings. And so I spent a lot of time sort of watching them or whatever, and when they were little, and and you start to, because yeah, you're right, they just want you to be like person holding stuff. They don't want you to use any creativity as part of the play. And you'll be like,
no, they're directing.
yeah.
You're a prop.
Like I would just to make them mad at me, I would be like, oh, Luke Skywalker soaring through the air and then meets up with My Little Pony and whatever, and they'd be like, stop it.
Oh, you're ruining it.
Yeah, you're ruining it's so funny.
We do this, my wife and I, well, we don't do it as much anymore, but about a year ago, my son was super into SpiderMan, and he would make us play the SpiderMan theme all the time. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, and we got so tired of listening to the original SpiderMan theme, that we would start singing it like in a jazzy sort of way and dancing around, like doing some sort of jazzy dancing, and it would just make him furious. He was so angry that we were like defiling his precious Spider-Man song, but we were like, we listened to it 1,000 times. It was like, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, and we danced through these silly dances, and he's like, oh, stop it, stop! Would just die laughing, like a 2-year-old, just furious that his parents were such losers.
That's so funny. I love that. Yeah.
Yep.
And my little brother too.
Little things.
When he was older, when he was like, I don't know, whatever age you're just starting to read, like 6, 7, something like that, and he was not enjoying reading, and my mom could not figure it out, and because she would read to him like the Hardy Boys and the other sort of mysteries, and he would be super excited and really enjoy him. And finally he was like, she's like, why don't you like reading at school or some other things? And he's like, because those books are stupid.
Yep.
Like, yeah, when you think about like those basic primers, they really are pretty stupid. They're not good stories. And so I just love that about kids. They're just like, that's dumb. Why would I want to do that? You're being leave me alone.
Dumb.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's pretty funny.
Well,
kids are the best. I think we can agree.
They are. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about transferring the Godwinks mantle to a new team? And I wanted to ask, do you officially give your blessing to Cindy Busby and Ben Hollingsworth?
I'm thrilled, honestly. I mean, we knew from the outset that the story we were telling was a one-off.
Yeah.
And Squire and Louise, who are the producers, Squire Rushmore, who obviously has been sort of curating this collection of stories for a long time, he and his wife are both so lovely, and I knew they had other projects in the works, and it was never in the cards for either myself or Kimberly Seston to carry on with the storytelling. I don't think we knew Kathy Lee was going to be doing the whole series, but I'm so thrilled. You know, good things happen to the best people. And for Squire and Louise, I couldn't be happier that they seem to be on a roll with these Godwink movies. And Cindy and I worked together. We met in 2009 or 10 when we worked on a movie with Steve Martin called The Big Year. And we played a married couple. That was the first time that we met. And Cindy is just lovely. I don't know Ben, but I couldn't be happier for her. She's had such a great run with Hallmark in the last 3 years. She's really started to do a lot of work for them, and she's like the perfect Hallmark leading lady. So I think it's great. I'm really excited to see what they've come up with. I know all of those Godwin stories are really sweet. I love that they're based on real experiences. So you know, it's when you're watching a story that you know probably has a happy ending. It's nice knowing that this actually happened to real people. This is like you're watching a true story. So I'm excited to see what they did with it. I give it the Paul Campbell endorsement. 100% endorsement. 3 thumbs up.
Yeah. Well, we also love Cindy. The only thing I'm a little bit not sure about is Kathy Lee playing somebody named Olga is
She's named Olga?
Yeah, in the movie.
Forget it. No, cancel the movie. No, it's all bets are off. I retract my endorsement.
I just not feeling that name for her. I'm struggling. I have no problem with that name.
That was probably the real name. That has to be the woman, the real name, though. I mean,
it just doesn't.
Olga, yeah, she doesn't look like an Olga, does she?
Right? I'm struggling with it, but I'm sure. I'm sure her method.
Let's give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess they're being strict to the name, and it'll be good. But that's the only part of it that I'm like, I don't know yet if that'll work.
Be kind of a bummer if somebody was making a story about your life and they're like, oh, so your name is Paul. Yeah, we don't like that name. We're gonna change it. It's not a good name. How about Marcus?
There's nothing wrong with the name. It's just Kathy Lee. I'm just struggling with that for her, It's just like, is that her name?
Olga, yeah.
But I guess that's what acting's all about. So we'll see how she does. But if
anybody can pull off an Olga, it's Kathy Lee.
It's her, yeah. So anyway, so one thing I was curious. So you've done 4 Christmas movies now with Godwink, Holiday Heart, Once Upon a Christmas. Once Upon a Holiday, and
Window Wonderland.
And then you've done 3 non-Christmas: Surprised by Love, Last Bridesmaid, Sunset and Romance. Right. So, what do you think is what do you prefer? What are the pros and cons of both? If you had to pick, which would you pick?
You're hitting me with the hard questions here, aren't you?
I know this is tough.
Hard to have a preference. I've said this before. I have never had an experience in a Hallmark movie that I didn't love, and always for different reasons. The Christmas ones are just inherently special because it's Christmas. You're often filming in like August or September. You're surrounded by snow and Christmas trees. You really do genuinely get swept up into the spirit because you're thrust into this world for 3 weeks where you're living Christmas. You're eating, like, they have like little Christmas cookies and stuff that you're just eating. You are doing Christmas in September. And there's something so fun and so special about those. And always like the themes of these Christmas movies, like in Holiday Hearts, we're looking after our best friend's daughter the week before Christmas. And there's just something so sweet and so charming about those stories that it's hard not to just love every day filming them. But then you get to go into, when I do like the Last Bridesmaid, you have these beautiful like outdoor wedding venues, because the June ones you're shooting in April or May. So the weather's beautiful. You're outside. They just have a totally different feel to them. And I find with with Surprised by Love, Last Bridesmaid, the characters can be a little bit edgier. There's a little bit more comedy in those movies. They allow me to push a little bit further with those movies just because they're off season. And I love that. I'm always having to rein it in because my instinct is to make it as funny as possible. And with the Christmas ones, because the stakes are often high, there's like a real sort of sentimental undertone. You can't go too far with it, but the not Christmas movies, I get to push a little harder and have a little bit more fun with them. So I don't know. I guess to not answer your question at all, I like all of them equally.
Yeah.
To completely avoid answer. Yeah.
All right. We'll allow it.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So Holiday Hearts is your new film coming out. And why don't you mentioned a little bit of the plot there, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what the movie's about?
Okay, so the movie, it's based on a book called The Christmas Wish, written by Barbara Ankrum, and basically it's about these 2 estranged friends. They were very, very close at one time and have not really spoken to each other for about 10 years. They're reunited the week before Christmas when they find out that their very close friend has injured his knee and he's in the hospital awaiting knee surgery. And he asks if they will look after his daughter for the week leading up to Christmas. Her mother has passed away years before, so he's a single dad. He needs someone to look after his daughter. And the sort of caveat is that she has this list of all of these Christmas traditions that her mom started before she passed away for the family. And she looks forward to doing all of these things on her list every year with her dad. But now that he's in the hospital, he asks if these two friends will help her tick off everything on her list and give her the best week leading up to Christmas possible. So they bend over backwards to try and make everything happen, even though particularly my character is not really a very Christmassy guy, and he doesn't have a lot of experience with, making Christmas crafts and baking and decorating trees and putting up lights. So he's a little bit of a fish out of water. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it wouldn't be Hallmark without a bit of a romance rekindled. Yeah. And these two, in playing house for a week, sort of rediscover each other and the romance that was once there.
Yeah. Okay, so you and Ashley's character were like high school sweethearts or something like that, or had a pre-existing?
No, they were very good friends. They were very good friends, and then it may have sort of developed. The feelings may or may not have developed into something more, but they never really acted on them. And then my character, who was a doctor, went off to do his residency in a different state, and then he was gone for a long time. He's now returned to the small town, Birch Creek, where they all grew up, and he's working at the hospital there. So he's been back in town for a year, and they haven't run into each other yet. They've kind of managed to avoid each other because they left on a bit of awkward terms, and then they do run into each other, and off we go.
That sounds good. That sounds really sweet.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds. I like the daughter having the list, because then it's not just sort of random stuff. Like it's stuff that's purposeful, as as far as the plot.
Yeah, it's like you're literally just checking off. She's got this whole checklist. She's got all these drawings that she's done. Each drawing represents something else that she wants to do, and it's pretty fun to play like the fish out of water. This guy that's just an incredibly capable human being in general. He's a doctor. He's a successful doctor. Yeah. But then when he's thrust into this situation, he's basically hopeless and essentially begs Ashley's character to stay and help out because he has no idea what he's doing and he doesn't want to blow it for this little girl.
Well, I mean, I can relate to that because despite my general my love for Christmas, all things Christmas, I am the worst when it comes to any kind of craft of any kind.
Okay.
Whatever maybe I can make like a solid snowflake, but if you push me any further than that, it's not pretty. I just don't have a patient personality, and so like any kind of intricate anything when you're dealing with popsicle sticks or any kind of making things, I struggle. I'm not good at that kind of stuff at all.
You're telling me not to expect my needlepoint wall mural from you this year? Great.
Yeah, we have other people on the podcast who can maybe fill that void. That's why I have co-hosts. Because it's not.
You'll have to connect us.
Yeah, thankfully, like I said, my mom is amazing at all that kind of stuff. Like I said, she made these dolls that are so cute. She would make all of our like Easter dresses and Christmas dresses, and I have a sister that's just 2 years younger than me, and so we would often have like matching dresses and that she would make, and she also would make all the costumes for a bunch of my sister's plays, and she's so talented. She's actually, it's been really cool now that her kids are all out of the house. Finally, it took us forever to get all out of the house, but she has started becoming an incredible artist, and she
4
days a week she goes down. She drives like I don't know, a good 40 minutes or so to this art studio where she's not really taking classes, but there's like artist supervision, whatever, to help you with your work there. And she's really taken it seriously and done some incredible stuff. I'm so impressed with her. But yeah,
I love that. I love to hear that.
Yeah, she's great at so many things like that. She's a great cook. She's great at any kind of like thing that requires patience. I am not good at, like, she's a great knitter.
What are you great at? I want to hear what you're great
at.
I want you to talk yourself up a little bit. You're good at what?
I'm great at podcast. Well, I think I'm pretty good at podcasting. I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I think so.
But I think I'm a pretty good writer. I think whatever the topic, you give me something to write about, I think I'm pretty good.
And you can write it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty handy skill to have.
That's and I actually am a pretty decent cook. I'm not the best baker, but I'm a pretty good cook. But I don't know, anything like trying to knit it's not for me. I'm not good at it. But,
yeah, I'm not a big knitter either. You might be surprised to hear that. I'm not huge with the needles.
But a lot of actors,
I'm pretty crafty,
though, they knit a lot, like in between scenes and stuff. I heard it's like a thing. A lot of actors will knit.
I write. I'm a writer as well, so I'm always writing between scenes.
Yeah. I love to write, and what else am I pretty good at? I love to read. I love to write. I'm a good swimmer.
Are you?
Yes.
I wish I was a good swimmer.
Yeah, I love open water swimming, and I've actually just this summer, in August, I finished my 13th open water swim race.
Holy smokes! Good for you.
I've done the Great Salt Lake 4 times, which is really hard. And
what's the distance? What are we talking about?
The longest I've done is a 5K. Which,
oh my gosh,
it's really hard. I haven't done 5K in Great Salt Lake. I've just done a mile in Great Salt Lake, but Great Salt Lake, I know people think, oh, you float, so it's super easy. No, it's not, because that salt, it's 5 times saltier than the ocean, and it just drains you so fast, and your whole body feels like it's on fire. And it's crazy.
Have you tried not drinking it while you swim? Is that maybe a thing that you should consider?
But by the end of the race, your tongue is kind of numb, and you can't really feel it. And even if you
sounds like a great time.
It's really hard. I haven't done it for a couple of years, because I always come up to it and I'm like, do I want to go through that again? I've done it 4 times. I've shown I can do it. I don't.
It sounds to me like if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, we're doing this contest where we stick a fork in our eye. Do you want to come do that?" Like, I think I don't.
But
how would I don't do that?
I'm telling you though, when you finish and you get that medal, it feels so good, because what you just did was really hard, and it is an adrenaline rush, that you just like conquered nature. It feels really good, but I've done it 4 times.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm impressed here.
But the Great Salt Lake is, we call it's Satan in water form, but everything else is really fun and just a delight, and it feels, I just love being out in the water, and I love to swim, and so, yeah, I'd love to do an open water swim in the ocean someday, but never, living in Utah, it's a little hard. But
I believe it'll happen for you. Maybe you'll do a Christmas in Hawaii. You'll get your beach Christmas, and then you'll just go for a little swim. You'll go from like Oahu over to Maui or something like that, or Kauai to the Big Island. I think this is going to happen for you.
Start the GoFundMe right now.
I think
that would be my dream. I love Hawaii so much. But anyway, Yeah. So but I can see why you'd want some help. Your character will want some help if this is very craft based. Kind of.
Oh yeah, I
There's things
forgot
on
that's
the
what.
list. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's the other thing. I'm not good at making candy because candy is very precise. And you got to get it just to the right temperature or it's disaster. And I never seem to be able to make candy.
I'm going to let you off
things.
the hook here a little bit and say, I don't think many people are good at making candy. I don't think that's like a thing that most people are like, really? You don't know how to make candy? Like,
yeah.
It never even occurred to me that people make candy. I'm just like, you just get it from the store. It's like it comes from a factory in China and you get it in the store, right? I don't know how candy is made.
I've tried. But I can make a decent fudge, but that's as far as it goes. Of course, my mom is excellent at making candy. She's just great at. My mom is amazing. She had 6 kids, and I don't know. She's just
maybe you should get
wonderful.
your mom on this podcast. The next time I come on for lucky number 5, get your mom on and we can talk to her. I think that's our next. Okay. And your sister too. She sounds incredible. Let's get the whole fam jam on here and have a big round table.
My brother has been the one that threw the doll. He's been on the podcast a couple times. I mean, he's
old one gift.
Yeah, one gift. he's 22, I think now. So yeah, he's
you think
now, but I don't know. But anyway,
you guys are pretty tight, obviously. I don't know. I think he's like 22 or something.
My dad has been on the podcast once. He helped us cover the mysteries shows last, which was like a miracle because my parents don't watch any television, like except for sports. My dad will occasionally watch a sports thing. Or something for church. Other than that, like the fact that I got him to watch 3 TV movies is like, wow, that was amazing. Because my parents are not movie people and they're not television people, like really at all. And the only show that my dad was ever kind of really into, at least in my lifetime, was he loves Sherlock Holmes. And and so particularly the old PBS with Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes show that they did over at on BBC. It's really quite good. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yes, right.
He was really into that, and I remember recording it on the VHS tapes and then watching it and watching all the episodes. But yeah, my parents just are not. It's so funny. They just kind of look sort of baffled, especially at me with the podcast. And then, but also, all of us kids are really into movies and really into all of that kind of thing. And they're just like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, sure, you whatever floats your boat. Good luck, guys.
Right. But anyway, so yeah. So was it shot in Vancouver?
It was shot around Vancouver. We did 2 days in Stanley Park, which is something I've never done before. Stanley Park is like one of the most beautiful parks in the country. It's essentially Vancouver's Central Park, and it's gorgeous. We had a big pavilion there that we shot this big, beautiful like ballroom party scene in, and then the rest of the film was shot in the sort of outlying areas of Vancouver because it's got to have a small town feel to it. But yeah, there's so many really cute, charming locations in and around Vancouver. They always manage to pull these incredible locations out for these movies, and they do such a good job with the visual effects because it's September, there's no snow here, but they manage to make it look like a winter wonderland every time somehow. I don't know, it's such a remarkable thing that they do. And I haven't actually seen. Usually I've done all the sound mixing by the time I talk to you, because usually you're calling me so late to talk about these movies. But you got me early this time, so I haven't actually seen anything aside from the little clip they played on the preview show. I saw that, and I think it's going to be really cute. The young actress playing the little girl that we look after, she's got a big load to carry because she's in 70% of the movie with us. It's sort of a trio, and she's great. She was in the Jean Bonnet like the JonBenet Lifetime movie. She played JonBenet Ramsey. Yeah, she was JonBenet. And she's got a pretty good resume that she started to build, and she's just like fearless and spontaneous and charming and cute. I think people are really going to respond well to her. And of course, Ashley is like phenomenal. She and I worked really well together. She's super funny. We did a lot of goofing around, and you know, she's also really natural. She's just a very, very natural actress. And we worked really well together. I think we put together a pretty nice little movie here.
I am really excited because I love Ashley, and we've never gotten to talk with her on the podcast, but she just seems like such an effervescent, lovely human. So it's good to hear that's
she's
accurate.
So genuine. Yeah, it is. She's just very genuine. She's got a really positive vibe. She's good energy. I'm a big energy person. She's got really good energy to be around. Yeah.
That's great. That's really good. Well, we're looking forward to it. And they always do a good job picking child actors in Hallmark. It's one of the strengths. They always do such a good job. So I'm excited to see that. And it'll, I think, be a really cute little movie. So we like to end our interviews with some fun questions, and we have a Christmas edition for you. You haven't done.
Oh my.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so first question. What is your favorite holiday drink?
The old fashioned.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into the sweet holiday drinks. I like, but I don't drink old fashions year round. I kind of break them out in the fall.
Oh, okay.
The Christmas, it's got a little bit of the orange. I like the Angostura bitters. I do it with rye, not with bourbon, and then just a little bit of the orange rind, just to give it a slightly citrusy twist.
Cool. Good.
Yeah, that's it. I think you were probably linked to like peppermint latte, but it's an old fashioned.
Any answer is a good answer. Okay. Second is, what is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Oh man, my favorite holiday. You guys don't have these in the U.S., and probably because people would lose their minds. There's something called a Nanaimo Bar that we have in Canada. Have you ever heard of these?
No.
Okay. Well, listen, it's impossible to do it justice, but my mom used to make these all the time. Basically, it's like a bottom layer of like coconut mixed with chocolate. It's like a crispy, almost like a graham crumb, but it's like chocolatey coconut bottom layer. And then the middle layer is like a custard, and then the top is just solid, like a quarter-inch thick of just chocolate on the top, of like hardened chocolate, and then you cut it into squares. It is extraordinary. I mean, you can only have one tiny square, and then you've had enough because they're so sweet. But yeah, that's my favorite holiday treat for sure.
That sounds yummy. Very good. Okay. So what is your favorite Christmas song or carol?
My favorite Christmas song is "Oh Holy Night."
Oh, that's the hardest Christmas song to sing.
It's impossible, but when it's done right,
so pretty. Yeah.
It is so. It just gives me chills. Like with the high highs in that song, it just gives me chills.
Yeah.
I love to try and sing it, and I love to fail at singing it.
Yeah, I always sort of get nervous when I hear, oh no, they're going to try to sing "Oh Holy Night" in one of these movies. Oh no. And then hopefully they pull it off, but it goes a whole octave. It's a really hard song. And
I know, it's like when someone does Aha's "Take on Me" at karaoke. And you're like, you realize there's like a 3-octave range in there. You're never going to hit, it's just going to fall apart like in the first third of the second octave. It's just, the whole thing just falls apart. And you don't realize, you're like, oh, I know that song. And then you try to sing and you're like, oh no.
It's a pretty diva choice, let's be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. All right.
Let Mariah Carey handle that.
All right. What is your favorite Christmas movie to watch?
My favorite Christmas movie to watch is still Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love it.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that movie because my grandmother actually both my grandmas actually passed away this year. But
Oh.
I know, but my grandmother that passed away in June, she loved to just get to laugh so hard that you were almost afraid she wasn't breathing. Like she would just and she would just she would tear up. She would just she could laugh better than anybody I've ever met. And in particular for National Lampoons, I was thinking about the other day that when that squirrel comes out of the tree, my grandma would just lose it.
Oh, I
know. And then also we would always kind of make fun of her or just laugh with her at because she had a little bit struggle sometimes hearing as people do it. That whole scene when they're like, Grace, we want you to say Grace.
Grace.
We'd be like, Grandma, Grace. She would laugh.
Oh, I know. There's so many good moments.
Yeah. When she starts saying the Pledge of Allegiance and we would just die laughing. So that's a good choice. The Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, this is very good choice. Okay, so do you have a favorite holiday tradition that you do? It sounds like.
I mean, my favorite holiday tradition would probably be like the reading the night before Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And then, we'll read it to our son. In fact, I don't think we read it last year because he was 2.
Yeah.
And it was just not, this year he's ready for it. But as a kid, I loved that. And then
so
just
cute.
that we did the same thing for Christmas morning. Every morning we'd get up at around 7. We'd open a few gifts and then we'd have a nice big breakfast and just sort of enjoy the day as a family. I think that for me, just doing like a really sort of quiet family thing during the day and having like a real Christmassy morning, that would be my favorite tradition.
Very good. Is your son scared of Santa? Is he one of those kids, he sees Santa and he's like, ah?
I don't know. Last year, because I play Santa at the Christmas parties, that we always throw a Christmas party every year, and the last 3 years or 2 years, I've dressed up as Santa and come in and given gifts to all the kids and stuff like that. And he was pretty cool with it last year. We'll see what happens this year because I don't know. We'll have to. He's changed a little bit this year. Like he's a little more wary of things this year. So we'll see. There were a couple kids last year that were like, "What the heck?" Freaked out. And then a couple kids came right up. And they're like, "Where's my gift, Santa?" It's so funny how kids are different. But yeah, I'm curious to see how he is this year. I'm gonna say he'll be uncertain. I don't think he's gonna go either way. He'll be he'll be cautiously optimistic.
That's cute. Okay, who would you pick, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Geez. Just in general, I would say Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm just going with my gut. My gut just said say Scrooge. So I was like, all right, I'll say Scrooge.
All right, good. Okay, clear lights or colored?
Clear.
Okay. Snowball fight or building a snowman?
Snowball fight.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a good gift wrapper?
Yes, impeccable. I think the presentation is such a big part. It's so telling about how you actually think of that person, that if it's worth putting the time in to present the thing that you got them nicely, then that speaks volumes about the way that you regard that particular person. So yes, I always wrap impeccably.
Yeah, I strive for good wrapping.
Again, you're not super crafty.
No.
I'm sure you write a heck of a card, though.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm an adequate gift wrapper. Not the best, but hopefully people. I think I'm a pretty good gift giver. So by the time they actually open the gift, they're like, "Oh."
They're like, "Oh, I expected so little given this horrible wrapping job."
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you hated me for a second, and then I realized you actually don't.
And you can always buy a gift bag. That is very helpful.
Yeah, gift bags are fine. If you're giving somebody like a lava lamp or something that's like a weird shape, or like, I don't know, some like, what was I said, didgeridoo, you know, and you don't want to wrap it up. You just put it in a gift bag. Do you give away a lot of didgeridoos? Because I don't. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's top of the list for most people in my life. But that's one thing that's kind of a bummer about being single is that I don't really give that many gifts. That I guess you could say is but there's something because I give like a few little things to my friends, or I'll have usually one person in the family that will draw names or whatever, or I'll give a gift, something to my parents. But I really only get 3 or 4 presents. So that part of, and usually they're on Amazon or whatever. So that part of Christmas isn't the same. Just nothing's the same when you don't have kids. Kids are just Christmas is so much better when you have kids.
It really is. Yeah, kids, and I'm the same way. Like my wife and I, we would always do like a little Christmas thing, but until our son came along, it wasn't the gift exchange and stuff was never like a huge part of our relationship. Sort of.
That's not my love language.
No.
All right. Last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater, and what is your ugliest?
Oh man. I have so many ugly Christmas sweaters. Probably the ugliest one that I have right now. Well, my wife and I feel like we got sort of ahead of this whole thing because about 10 years ago, we got invited to a Christmas party, and we thought it would be funny to go to Sears and buy these like Land's End used to make these women's like vests that had little snowmen, like they were just the stuff that grandmas would wear, and they had fur trimmed collars. This is before people were making ugly Christmas sweaters, and we both wore them to this event, and nobody else was dressed in silly sweaters, and we wore these like ridiculous matching grandma sweaters. We both still have those sweaters. So I think I would have to say those sweaters because they're like the OG ugly Christmas sweaters for us. And then, people have gone intentionally ugly with them, but those were funny because they were unintentionally ugly.
I agree. When you can find the non-intentionally ironic ugly sweater, when you find the real deal, that's always preferred.
Yeah, sure. Like when you wear it around and then somebody's grandma comes up and goes, "Oh, I love your sweater." You're like, "Yes, I nailed it. I picked the right one."
You can have like your own your own like Bridget Jones's moment. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, This has been so much fun. I really enjoyed talking with you. This 4th time, ready for a 5th. It's gonna happen.
I have another hour in me for the 5th. You say the word, and maybe just give Nina a break for a while so I can,
Well, this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. So you're currently, at least, they'll probably change the schedule 500 times, but currently your movie is planned for November 21st, Holiday Hearts. Congratulations on finishing on the film. And we're all looking forward to it very much. So
thank you. I'm excited for everyone to see it. And thank you again for having me for the 4th time. I always love talking to you, and I'll come back as long as you'll have me.
Well, thank you for that. And where can people follow you on social media and all that fun stuff?
You can find me on Twitter at the Paul Campbell, and on Instagram, I'm at Paul Campbell Official.
Great. All right. Well, thanks again. And we will talk to you again very soon when you're ready for your next movie. It'll be great.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye. I'd really like to thank Paul for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to talk with him. And it's always fun to do these later interviews when we talk to people a bunch of times. We can kind of go off topic a little more, be a little more casual. and let our personalities come out. So I hope you enjoyed it. And so make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate it. And if you're listening on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We sure appreciate that as well. You can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media on iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So please take a look at that. I would really appreciate all your support. And please consider becoming a patron of the channel. We have so much fun talking about all these fun movies and any topic that you want to talk about. We have a great time together at the Patreon Facebook group, which is $5 a month to be a part of, but it's $2 a month to be a entry-level patron, and you get to be a part of exclusive content and also our giveaways that we do. So lots of fun stuff going on with the podcast. We're so busy with all these Christmas movies, and so Merry Christmas to you, and thanks again, and we will talk to you all later. Bye.